Good evening, friends and family members. Thank you for tuning in to podcast 83. Will the schools open up? We have a guest speaker today, Theresa Axford. But before we get to her, I'd like to give a shout out to FloridaKeysInjury.com, accident lawyers in the Florida Keys. If you are involved in an accident, car, moped, or scooter, call the team at 302 Southern Street or at FloridaKeysInjury.com. We've got advanced urgent care in Key West, Marathon, and Key Largo with extended hours Monday through Saturday, offering COVID-19 testing for free. Some restrictions do apply. And don't forget, Friday we have Dr. Burrows joining us for our traditional Friday podcast. Turning it over to you, Louie. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Miss Denise Lane. Louie C. the Mayor checking in. Let me tell you right now, we are going to get to the meats and potatoes today with children business. And you know, children are the most important thing in the world. And before we do that, I want to make sure y'all hit notifications right here. Go to the YouTube channel and make sure you hit the subscribe button, Louie C. Rock on YouTube. So like that, you can catch all the episodes. And we taking all questions along as the queen from the superintendent's office wants to stay here. We're going to take all questions. I want to welcome to the show, Miss Theresa Axford. Welcome to the show. It's a pleasure. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
How are you doing today? And you know, we have a lot of people that come in on the podcast worldwide. So can you just give them a little intro about yourself and your history with Key West for those people that don't know you from Adam?
Absolutely. Well, first of all, Louie, it's an honor to be here with somebody famous like you.
Thank you.
And so I'm so thrilled that you invited me to be on the program. And I have been an educator in Monroe County for 33 years. I've been a teacher at Key West High School for 5 years. I absolutely love Key West High. An assistant principal, and then the principal of Sugarloaf School. And I was at Sugarloaf School for 13 years as the principal. Went over to Key West High School as the principal for a year and had the greatest year of my life. I absolutely loved every minute of it. And after that year, the superintendent asked me to come to the district to run the curriculum department. Okay. And so I love that, love curriculum, and I've been there for 8 years. And of course, the school board appointed me superintendent for this coming year. So I know lots of people in Monroe County. In fact, I've taught lots of them. So I'm thrilled about being superintendent.
Well, thank you so much for being on the podcast today. And that is great. So you filled a lot of hats, just like I got right here. Absolutely. KW, Key West Conks all day, 11 state championships.
Yay.
We bleed red and gray
Yes,
around here
do.
in Key West. Now the superintendent is county-wide. So you got to take care of everybody. That means Marathon Dolphins up there in Coral Shores, everybody across the board. So there's been a lot of misinformation out on social media. I just want to get to what we call the meats and potatoes. So like that. People, you know, it's a tough time, and I applaud you because it's a tough time to be superintendent. Anybody in an executive position, this is unheard of. I mean, last time we had something like this, nobody was living, almost 1918 for the pandemic. So it's really tough. And, you know, I put myself in shoes of if, you know, I didn't have that senior year or, you know, my junior year and didn't have that experience. This is a big part of people's lives. And unfortunately, we lost, you know, last year for school, and it's just unfortunate, but this wasn't in the card for anybody. This is just what happened. Please turn notifications on right over here. Any questions that you got, don't ask them on Facebook. Ask them right here on podcast, because this is a lady going to answer. You guys ask me questions. I don't know what the answers are, but we could get the right answers today. So let's just get right to it, Ms. Axford. Will schools open in the Florida Keys physically?
So Louie, I really appreciate that question. And you know, we put together a 53-member task force in May to start looking at how we were going to go back to school in August. And you know, I'm passionate about it. I want our kids back in school. I know the commitment that our parents made in the spring dealing with online education, and I just admire how much people did and how parents you know, came to the forefront and helped their kids, and we want to go back to school. So the committee has been working on ways to get back to school, and so the first way is full face-to-face. where we go back in August, and we've been working on all the safety measures to make that happen. The second is if we bring elementary students in, and then we bring the middle and high school in on a staggered basis, an A-B day. And lastly is virtual education. So we've got 3 different phases, and we've been working. Now the people who make the decisions, and pardon me for moving this mask around, are the health department. So,
Really?
you know, we have the best partnership with Bob Eady, who is the administrator of DOH, the Department of Health in Monroe County, and Dr. Mark Whiteside, who is the medical director. And I talk to them practically every day. So our plan is based on the spread of the virus. And for us to open full time, you know, face to face, August 13th, the virus has to plateau. Well, you know, and that has to occur for about 2 weeks. So you know, in Monroe County right now, the virus is not plateauing.
No doubt.
So, in fact, it's surging.
Yes.
So we were supposed to begin a boost program on yesterday for our littles, for our K1 and 2 kids. But I had a conference with Bob Eady on Saturday, and he said, Terry, I just think it's too risky to bring our kids in. He said, you know, I think we're going to have to cancel. And so we didn't have that face-to-face program. We're providing for the kids virtually, but not face-to-face. So what I can tell parents is that we want to come back. I desperately want those kids to come back because I know what's going on. They need school. They need their friends. They need the socialization. And our teachers need to be in the buildings, and they need to be working with them. But everything, you know, the real boss right now isn't me as the superintendent. And I wish it were, because I'd wave a wand and I would make everything right back to where it was last year at this time. But COVID-19 is the boss, Louie.
No question.
And that's the unfortunate truth about this. So I think parents need to know that they're going to have to kind of work with us, and hopefully we can do something in August, but it just depends on where things are.
Okay. And you're an expert with kids. That's why you've been appointed as superintendent. So over here, we apply experts also in my business. And my health expert is Dr. Burrows, okay? And he works with the gentleman, the 2 of them that you named, and they work together in different.
Wonderful. He's an amazing.
So what I always say is that we have to get these people together, because even though we know a lot of stuff, we're not the experts. And then I do know a couple things by being working with Dr. Burrows on a daily basis. And I'm gonna tell you right now, which we say this on this podcast, we're far from the peak. We knew that this was going to happen, and there's no surprise that tomorrow you might see a record high, because at this point we're far from the peak. Now, if you've seen in New York, you would see the governor on there every other hour, and then all of a sudden now it's got a lot better. So they hit the peak and it went on the other side. So unfortunately, with the US 1 open, it is what it is. Then there's just no way around it, and we knew that this would happen. And unfortunately, we're going to have to live with the COVID-19. And to be honest with you, common sense is common sense, whether it be at a school board, whether it be in entertainment. So right now, they don't want a lot of people to gather together. So this is, kids are special, but they're not immune, obviously, to the COVID. So just to hear you right, what you're saying is it doesn't look like we're going to have physical school year. Is that correct?
Well, I mean, I think it's a rolling thing. I mean, if we don't go back August 13th, we may be able to go back September 7th.
Okay. Gotcha.
And if we can't go back September 7th, we may be able to do it September 15th.
Okay.
So we're at the ready to go whenever we can. And,
okay.
and we're just going to have to pivot one way or the other, either virtually or in person. But let me tell you what we're doing in the schools to help parents feel better about it. We have teams of administrators and teachers now who are going into every classroom to apply social distancing rules. And so we have it down where we believe that we can have our elementary kids in school with social distancing. And then we've got all kinds of wonderful procedures in place for hand washing, for wearing masks, for travel through the hallways. We've got directional arrows and things like that we're putting in place, just like you're seeing in the supermarkets and the stores. And then, I was talking to Mr. Russell earlier, we've got the situation set up so we can have as little as 12 kids in a class in high school. So, we are working very hard to make the schools as safe as possible when they say that we can go back to school.
Yes.
And I know parents are worried about that. So there's two things I want to let parents know. We want to get those kids back. We know how important it is for the kids, for our community, for everything moving forward. But we need to follow the best practices set by the health department. And then as soon as the health department says we can go back to school, we're going to have the safest environment possible for kids.
Okay. And as a parent, my daughter's at Rutgers, and if she was in high school right now, I would applaud that. I think this is a great plan. And I think that, you got to just take a game time decision and see what happens, because we could leave this office, like I say, and 2 minutes from now, a whole different thing has changed. This is unpredictable. We used to call it a movie, right? We would say we're in a movie. Yeah. Now we graduated to Netflix. We're in episode 4 now. Yeah. So every day, they keep throwing left and right at us, and it's incredible. And I'll be honest with you, even though I don't agree with some stuff, I respect people because this is tough decisions or whatever. We're in the election year, 2020, so it's really crazy. But at the end of the day, in the forefront, children are first above anything, and they should be protected. These are sacred souls, and we make sure we have to take care of people. So, Miss Denise, I'm gonna give a couple shout outs, and we can start with these questions for the lovely superintendent. I got Miss Hasty checking in, Theresa checking in, Roxy, what is going on, girl? And I see, look, you have somebody out here from Atlantic City, all the way from Atlantic. Papo Santiago, you see Papo on there yet? Miss Denise? If not, I could go with that one, and you could go with the next one. So I got Papo here says.
I do.
Okay, go ahead, Miss Denise.
So we have Papo Nunez Santiago checking in. Would the kids be safe? And if one kid gets sick, what are they going to do?
So once again, we have nurses in every building. So what our procedure is going to be, if a kid gets sick, we're going to first call the school nurse and then the Monroe County Health Department. So the health department then will take the lead on, who needs to be quarantined. They'll take the lead on the testing. So, that's why our partnership with them is so important, because we know that we're going to need them, and they're the ones who have the testing and the know-how to assist us when that happens.
Okay, so Denise, let's keep it rolling, because I want to make sure we can catch every question, if you don't mind.
We have David Flynn asking, or stating, I'm a parent of a high schooler. I, of course, want them back in school, but here's the issue. The moment a child, teacher, or staff member tests positive for COVID, does Monroe County have enough I'm so sorry, got cut off right here. Capacity to test and contact trace that entire cluster. If the answer is no, then we are not ready to send children back to school. If Monroe County can't contain the spread, then they cannot put the lives of thousands of children and families at risk.
Okay, I'd like to interject on that. So, like I said, I've been with Dr. Burrows, Advanced Urgent Care, Key West Marathon in Key Largo. This man on March 3rd, these are facts. He went to the city commission meeting and said we have a category 6 typhoon, earthquake, tornado, all in one coming, and like the rest of the nation. But nobody, really acted right away, and it not anything negative with the city, but the whole nation and the world wasn't really prepared. So we've been on this from day one. So about 2 months and a half ago, I formed a task force, and I'll give a shout out to Harry Russell in the building. and he was on this task force because I wanted to get different people on the task force, just not, entertainment people. And Harry will tell you that we was ready to fire testing back then, and we said, let's test all 80,000 people. Now you can't test them all in one day or one week. But right now, what happened, the panic is hit, and now we're so overloaded that people are actually driving from Key West to Marathon to get tested. But testing is the key, but there's only so much we can do. I wish we could open 24 hours and test everybody, because now, first of all, the testing's free. Yeah. Before it wasn't, and now anybody could go get tested. You don't have to have any type of symptoms or whatever. So it's very critical. So this is a tough situation, but now we're getting more people on board, and I think we could test everybody. And eventually, if everybody want to get tested, we can. But at this point, you have to live with the COVID, and all you could do, I guess, from the superintendent standpoint, is basically do the best you can with the advice that you're giving and make a sound decision. Like you said, you're not making the decision. This is what I applaud the school board, because you're the superintendent, you're the CEO, the buck stops with you, right? You can make a decision, but you take a different approach where you got a task force, and then I believe what you're hearing, you still come with your own opinion, but if the majority's going one way, I think you probably will respect that.
Well, not only that, but I mean, once again, and I keep saying it, it's our partnership with the health department, because, I saw Mr. Flynn's post, and I appreciate your contacting us, because I saw that post on Facebook. And, once again, how we handle it when a case is identified is going to be up to the health department. And the number of tests that have to be given and the contact tracing, they have got staff hired to do that, and they are doing that right now. So they're going to be able to tell us, and that's why, it's going to be up to them about opening schools, because they know their capacity to support the schools. And so we're going to have to rely on their expertise to help us make decisions going forward. And we're going to do that.
Yes, outstanding. Miss Denise Lane, I see we got a gentleman. This is a character right here. This is good old William Gonzalez, represent the Marathon Dolphins out there, backed up by Louie Gonzalez. Right. So Willie, he don't miss no words. So let's see what I haven't even read it. What do we got?
William Gonzalez commenting, would like to congratulate the new superintendent. I only have one question as a concerned parent and alumni of Key West High School, class of 94. Hey. My kids also attend Monroe County school system. Are the kids going to be penalized if parents keep them home and they do virtual school? Still turn in the grades, still do the classwork and testing just like they were going to until this is over?
Absolutely no penalties. So we are going to, in the task force, we've got a 53-member task force working on this, and one committee in the task force is distance learning. So that committee is putting together all kinds of options as they relate to virtual learning. So kids will be able to participate in virtual learning. There will be no attendance penalty for that. And as I said, we're even going to make it so that you can participate in virtual learning and then transfer to bricks and mortar if we get the opportunity to go to bricks and mortar. So, gotcha. We're making plans that are going to provide for most options that you can think of.
Please hit the notifications right over here on the Facebook Live. And for those of y'all watching worldwide on YouTube, hit the subscribe button. Out here, we got the superintendent of school, Theresa Axford. So people just came in, so we're going to let you know what's really going on. We're going to try to answer every question. I got that boy, Mickey Margaret. Mickey, I'm going to do like this, 305, all day Hurricanes, yeah. Florida State fan out there, Concuts. Mickey says, glad we're discussing this. And Miss Denise Lane.
Watch it, because I know him.
Who you like?
Mickey Margaret.
But who you like on the football field? You like the Hurricanes?
Oh, I like the Hurricanes.
Okay, 305. This is what I'm saying.
I'm an Eagles.
Philadelphia Eagles, yes.
We've got Samantha Gonzalez commenting, finally, someone making sense. If the virus cases are still rising, then schools should not be open.
Nice.
Christine Dan Coolidge checking in. Thank you, Tina Lee, Michael Lockwood.
Hold on, so 1 second, Denise. So I got I see Jill. You have the one with Jill there. Monroe County are in great hands with Terry Axford. Fred Carter, JC Key West checking in, and then I have David Flynn. Do you have David Flynn over there?
I got Ed Gates checking in, Cliff Wardlaw. Isabella Portal, Danny Para, cover your nose.
Okay, she's trying the best she can. Danny, it's hard out here with a mask. That's why I don't see. I got 2 masks on here. You know, one conk mentality,
Cover my nose.
and this right here. But I'll be honest with you, if I wear this doing podcast, I faint, and then it won't be no podcast. So that's why I got to do the best I can. I have David Flynn. Miss Lane, if you could see where David's at, and we could start from there. The 3 literally defined schools and classroom.
The 3 C's.
The 3 C's literally define schools and classroom. I got a good old Richard Guzman. That man's a legend out there on the ball field. Thank you so much for checking in. I got one of my DJs checking in all the way from Philadelphia.
All right.
DJ Slice Thursday night. Mary Lynn checking in. Thank you so much. Isabel Porter, how you doing? Thank you.
Got Dr. Burrows checking in. Dr. Burrows is on board, he says.
Okay, Dr.
Hey,
B.
Dr. B.
Where's Dr. Poochie and Dr. Tricks, Dr. B? Where them dogs at? Who let the dogs out? Thank you for checking in. All love right now. So I got Mickey Malgrat on my side.
Yep, I got that. So we are doing a lot for the kids. What's going to be done for the teachers if they get infected? Are set school board going to pay those teachers while they have to be off? Let's see.
That's a really good question. So our plan considers teachers as much as students, because the whole way through when we were developing the plan, of course, our teachers were number one. And, you know, we love our teachers and we want to keep them safe. So in terms of pay for sick leave, you know, every teacher gets 10 sick days a year, and so that automatically happens as part of a teacher contract. And I think if teachers have to have an extended illness, we're going to be negotiating that. So we're working with our, have excellent rapport with our United Teachers of Monroe, have a lot of respect for them, and so we're going to be able to negotiate some of those issues. So thanks for that question.
And also, I want to elaborate on this. As far as I'm concerned, and Harry will tell you this, is not because you're sitting here. I've always said this, teachers should be paid the highest in the world. Across the board, it shouldn't even be a discussion.
Absolutely.
So I see Florida finally stepped up
Yes.
and made some things happen. So I don't know if they heard us or who they heard, but I'm so glad. I don't care how it happened. I want to say that it was like $500 million or something that is going to go towards teachers. Can you give them a brief description of what's going on with that?
Yes, well, so for Monroe County, it represents about $1,800 increase this year in salary.
Okay.
So that's going to be...
And that's from day one for teachers?
That's from day one for teachers. Now,
wow.
Obviously, we've got to negotiate once again with our UTM, but we think that that's what it's going to be based on our state allocation.
Nice.
And we're thrilled to be able to do that for teachers.
Okay, awesome. I got a gentleman here. You see him, Mikey Story. Miss Denise, he has a comment, if you could find him. David Flynn, thank you. And then I got James after that. Mikey Story, what's going on, Bo?
I got Mikey Story commenting, opening schools is a bad decision. One kid gets sick and everyone is going to be back to square one. One sick kid compromises an entire student body.
Okay, so I'd like to take that one. First of all, in school, that bell ring, 6:45 means 6:45. So, Big Mikey, you know I love you. If you was on the podcast at 6:45, he was on time. I'm going to let her say it again, and this happens because people come in and out.
Sure.
So can you just tell her briefly, because we're going to get people in and out. This is what the plan is for schools again, Ms. Axford.
Yeah, and so, of course, we want to go back to school and see every kid on August the 13th. But in our plan, we are providing for the spread of the virus. So if there's minimal spread of the virus, we're going to go back bricks and mortar. If there's moderate spread of the virus, then we're going to go full-time for elementary kids, and secondary kids are going to be on an A-B day. Now, we have a team that is teachers and principals working in buildings right now to socially distance every classroom, to put directional arrows in the hallways, to do, you know, the standing things, those little pads that you stand on in the supermarket and in Walgreens. We're doing all that. And so if the virus is holding and we can go back to school with all those safety measures, we will. But if the virus continues to surge, we're not going to be able to go back to school. Yep. And the people that are making these decisions are the officials at our health department and our medical professionals in the area, because I know that they have a very cohesive group and they're talking to each other all the time. They have our safety and the safety of the kids and the teachers at the center of everything that they do.
Yeah.
So we're all cooperating. As I said, I'm talking to Mr. Edie and Dr. Whiteside on a regular basis. And we don't know, and that's why I want parents to know that we're trying our darndest to get everybody back in school. But we're going to relate to what's going on with the spread of the virus, and we're going to keep everybody safe. And we're just going to keep our eye on the prize. It's getting back to school as soon as we can, safely, and protecting everybody.
Meats and potatoes of this. It don't look good for kids to go to school physically, because right now we're far from the peak with the COVID-19, so it doesn't look that way. Anything could change tomorrow, but the reality is it don't look good, and they're going to evaluate their time, and when it makes sense that everybody is on the same page, including the health professionals, then kids will go to school. So you ain't got to worry about right now, because it don't look that way. I got James over here, Miss Lane, if you want to take James, and then I'll take one real quick with Mike's story so you can find James. Is this going to be the same program with the Chromebooks?
Yeah, we're going to use our Chromebooks again.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the tool. And right now we're buying, it's going to the school board on Tuesday. We're going to make additional Chromebook purchases so we can be sure that every child is one-to-one with the Chromebooks.
Okay.
And, I am so worried about our kids, because parents really need support, in delivering instruction,
right.
With the teacher. So we're just going to work with every kid. If we have to go virtual, we're going to do the same thing that we did in the spring, only we're going to do it better, because we had some practice. And so we're just going to keep on getting better at whatever form we're going to deliver instruction. Our teachers are experts at face-to-face instruction. And so now they're becoming experts at virtual.
Okay, so I have James here.
James.
Go ahead.
Oh, James Keeman checking in. Thanks for tuning in every day. If beach is safer than schools, have once a week classes at the beach.
Okay, I'm gonna
I
answer.
love that.
I'm gonna answer
why
that.
we live here.
So,
Good idea,
what the kids love is field trips, right? So
Yeah.
one day we're gonna get back to getting field trips or whatever. Hey, but a drastic situation call for a drastic action. Thank you, James, for the comment. I got Dr. B. World famous advanced urgent care, Key West Marathon in Key Largo. Go ahead, Denise. You see Dr. Burrows there?
I do. The DOH has a tiny force that is overworked. What enforcement will you have for children who become unruly or dangerous to teachers and others?
So if we go back to bricks and mortar, we do have teams at the schools that deal with children who are unruly. So, we like to take the approach of working with the student, right. Finding out, what is motivating that child to be unruly, and then doing problem solving. But we have a team of counselors and social workers that really do a beautiful job of kind of rehabilitating and working with kids. So we take that approach first. And then, if it's necessary to exclude those students because, the behavior won't come under control, then we do have to exclude them at times. But we really work with kids, and kids are beautiful. When you work with them, they invariably work with you.
Yes, and I come from the school of hard knocks. When we was out there, they were told to run 29 laps. You ran 29 laps, and you drink water when they tell you. But that's back in the old school. The new school now here, you must work with kids, and we try to do this with our young people, because this black and white stuff is not going to work out. If you just say this is what it is and that's it, and you don't work with kids, you lose a lot of good people. You have to be willing to work with kids. And what I've seen from the old guard, old school, like for example, coaches that could relate to this new type of climate with kids, you'll get a lot, further with the kids or whatever.
Boy, that was really well said, Louie.
No, I keep it 100. I don't know what else to say, because basically to me, the respect level always has to be on point or whatever. So, you know, you have to respect people. Like, there's people that did this entertainment way before me or whatever. They're the greatest ever. I'm not going to be like Floyd Mayweather said, I'm better than Muhammad Ali. No, Muhammad Ali is the greatest. But we have to work with kids, and we have to talk with kids. It's just like same thing in entertainment. You know, we got a lot of stuff going on out there with alcohol and all kinds of stuff or whatever. So we're not trying to put hands on people. We're trying to get them out of the building, safe. Everybody, these days, especially now, we need everybody to be nice to each other or whatever. That's why I tell people, some people are really crazy. So if you see something out of order, like you walk in the store and somebody's not doing a protocol, don't get involved with that. You don't know what that person is going through. He might be at his last leg, and then you go over there and interfere. You might not make it home. Your job as a person right now is make it home alive to your family.
So our whole thing all spring was patience and kind. You know, we need to be patient with each other now, and we need to be kind. And so I think that that's going to carry us through, and we need to collaborate and work together. And that's the other important thing. And believe in each other and trust in each other. Yeah. Everybody is trying their very best right now. And I think that's the important thing to remember.
And bottom line is, I don't want anybody who wants to be part of the problem. I only want people around me that's part of the solution. If you ain't talking about a solution, because everything got a solution, even this COVID-19, we're going to get through it. We're smart enough. We got people worldwide. They're working on it as we speak 24/7. If they had a 25th hour, they're working then. But unfortunately, we still in the Netflix episodes. I don't know when it's going to stop.
I'm praying for them every day.
Yes. And prayers up. Thank you so much. What do you got, Denise? I see Willie's got a comment.
I got William Gonzalez. Thank you very much. Your answer was greatly appreciated. Good luck. We've got Jennifer Howard checking in, Amy Russell checking in.
Hold on, Denise. So Amy Russell says, Eagles fan, no, go Pats. Okay. Hey, eventually we'll get football. I got Kawana on a question or comment there. You see Kawana?
I got Kawana. Thank you, Louie, for hearing me and getting the new superintendent on the podcast. Also, congratulations to you, Ms. Axford. My question involves those students with learning disabilities.
So, you know, we are so concerned about them because we know that students lost ground over the spring. So, you know, because they need that special face-to-face instruction. So we're developing special lessons. We're going to check in with children and see exactly where their skills, you know, need to be supported. And we're dealing with making special lessons to help them catch up. So we're very much aware of that, Kawana, and we know that we have some work to do. But we are planning to support kids, and that's the number one thing. So you can trust that we are going to help any child that has learning gaps after this period of virtual and COVID-19.
Louie, if I could just comment on that from my own personal experience, my 9-year-old, I was able to reach out to the Guidance Care Center on his behalf. They're working with Gerald Adams to help implement a plan that is best to aid in his mental health at this time. Yeah. So we do have a lot of resources in the community. You can reach out to the school, you can reach out to Guidance Care, and they will work together.
And they are our partners, and Maureen Dunleavy over at Guidance Care. I mean,
so
we work
great.
hand in hand, so
great.
We can support kids.
All love right now. Marcia said, former loafer checking in. Thank you. See this boy right here, Kenny Hart, straight out of 1986, Key West Conch checking in. Kenny, let Miss Axford know where you at right now, because I know you ain't in Key West.
Key West time when I was there.
Yes.
Well, Ken Hart, he said no school now. If anything, online. Sorry, it's just too risky.
Okay. Papo still in, checking in Atlantic City. What that boy Papo got to say there?
We got Doris Roberts Arnold checking in. Let's see.
Let me see. Okay, so I got Papo. You got Papo over there?
Yes, I do. He said, with her response, I think the kids are safe. She's going to be great.
Okay, so you tell your superintendent up there in Atlantic City that it's for real down here in Monroe County. Anything they need, we got y'all. Chaz Jimenez, one time for that wrestling program, outstanding. Anybody, listen, anybody out there, you know, I come from the school, Bill Spotswood. I'll be honest with you. Feed the ducks. He told me a long time ago, Louie, these coaches don't get paid a lot of money, 10 cents an hour. I think we're at 5 cents an hour now. And I got to tell you, anybody who complained, I'll be the first one When I go to a sporting event, Harry will tell you, I'm all the way in with the conks. I try to win at ping pong, marbles, whatever we're playing. And some schools we have a big rivalry against, and we might not talk to you even after the game, but for the most part, it's all good. But I got to tell you, anybody who complain about something, what I do, I say, listen, you go down to the school board building. There's an office over there. You fill out one of them papers, and you go and sign up. They don't pay a lot of this stuff for this foolishness. And like great coaches like Ralph Enriquez, he's got unorthodox methods of doing things, but he gets results. So they ask me, "Oh man, Ralph, he cutting up?" I said, "Listen, I can just give you my advice. If I were you, I'd let that man do whatever he need to do. I promise you, your child will come out a better man, not only in baseball skills but in life because of this coach. Coaches make a big difference, and we don't play. We play with a lot of stuff." We don't play around these children. This is very serious or whatever. So, like I said, we got to work together here more than ever. Go ahead, Denise. I'm sorry.
We got Gabby Mike Henriquez checking in. Great job, Miss Axford. We have Dr. Burrows checking in. Ventilation and airflow is critical to diminish viral loads. Congesting an enclosed room. Have classroom accommodations been made?
So yes, Dr. Burrows, and so today we talk with principals and teachers. We're going to try to move as many classes as we can outside, and that's definitely part of our plan. And then we feel like in our new buildings, the ventilation is really really good because there's a lot of room, but reducing the class size down and following all those social distancing guidelines, we think that it's going to be kind of handle the issue that you're talking about. But we're working in each building now, and we're over the next 3 weeks. So I'll have more information in 3 weeks about that.
Let's keep it rolling, Miss Denise. I see David Flynn.
David
next.
Flynn.
Yes.
What about pre-K ESE?
Yeah, so we're looking at our ESE populations and working with Dr. Thompson. So we're going to be in the same boat with all of our kids in terms of when we're going to go back to school. It's all going to matter based on the virus spread. But we are definitely, in preparation, we're working to make sure that class sizes are small and that directional arrows are there and procedures are in place for washing hands before lunch, after lunch, when you come in the classroom, when you leave the classroom. We've just put all these things together to ensure safety once we go back.
Thank you. Please hit the notifications. Those of you watching worldwide on the YouTube, please subscribe to our channel. Hit the subscribe button. Those of y'all coming in on the podcast, basically there's no plans to return kids to school physically right now based on projection. That could change. They're going to take a wait and see approach, and that's basically where we at. But feel free to ask any question. Ms. Caraway.
We've got Christy Caraway checking in. I'm glad we have good local leaders. Can't rely on state and national.
That's why we're the Conch Republic.
That's why.
We got Tanya checking in. We got Eric checking in. Annie checking in.
Hold on, Ms. Denise. So I see RJ Hasty.
Hasty, yes. RJ Hasty Photography, yes.
Do you see his comment there?
Yes. I do not understand the separation of student by ages. I do understand many of the students have siblings in other grades. Some of the teachers have children in other schools. I don't see, can you finish that, Louie?
I don't see how the youngsters, kids would be less at risk.
Well, so we felt like we could definitely do better social distancing in the K-5 area because, well, first of all, the kids are smaller, and we're going to talk to them about airplane arms so they can separate from each other.
They should get McGruff back.
And so, that's the reason. And we felt for families, overall, families, they really do need their littles in school, whereas, in the 6-12 range, possibly it would be easier for them to work with a 7th grader at home for a day and then back in school the next day, on an A-B schedule. They would go to school every other day. So, we're trying to do the best we can to make it work for families and work for kids and work for safety. So that's how we came up with that.
Okay, so Denise, I got Mickey Malgrat.
We got Mickey Malgrat commenting. Thank you so much. I feel like you are considering all aspects of the school system, so I feel comfortable. If I had kids still in school, I would send them, but I have grandchildren. That's why I have concerns as many family members working in the system. Thanks for answering my concerns.
Thank you, Mickey.
Yeah.
We have Christy Caraway saying RJ was thinking the same thing. Thank you for answering that comment. We got Christy saying, Louie, where's your mask?
My mask is right here, so let me be clear, right over here. But if I put these masks on this podcast, I faint and the podcast will end.
We've got Talia Fitch. How will the bus run with the 6 feet distant rule? How many children would be allowed on the bus at a time? Good question.
So we are working on that. We know that the kids are going to have to wear masks on buses, and what we're asking, and we're going to do an intent to ride form with parents. We have surveyed parents, and a lot of parents are going to transport their own kids now, or transport the kids in the neighborhood. You know how people have neighborhood pods where you feel safe that this family is social distancing and doing everything that you're doing. And so my granddaughter is here, and she's in one of those pods right now. So we think a lot of parents are going to transport the kids, and then we have a plan for how we're going to fill in the bus and how kids are going to be transported in a safe way.
Okay, I got Michelle Marie, a.k.a. Michelle DePaulo, straight out of class of 1987, out there backing Mickey Malgrat up. And you know what? She's a Hurricane 305 all day. So you got her there for a question?
Yeah, and this is a good one. When will the final decision be made? I know parents that need to make arrangements with their employers.
And I so understand that, and that's a really good question. We're hoping that we can go as much as 2 weeks out, and it's just going to depend on COVID and the spread. So, the health officials are looking at it every single day. I told you we had to cancel our boost program that was supposed to start this week, and the reason was there were cases of under 20 that had occurred in the county. And Mr. Edie just did not feel that we should take the risk. So, they are following it day by day. And we are going to try to give you information as far out as we can, because we know that you have to make arrangements. And, you just have to know how passionate I am about getting kids back in school. But it's going to rely on what our doctors and our health officials say.
What I'm hearing here, and what I like is that there's a thing we have here called the Hail Mary. So you're still trying to get the kids in school, but the cards are not allowing it right this time, but you haven't given up.
No.
So at one point, maybe it could happen. It don't look like it's going to happen on schedule. But like I said, it's tough because it's a kind of day-to-day game time decision or whatever, and it's just part of what we're dealing with. It's an incredible situation.
It is an incredible situation. Really, what is this for me, a superintendent at this time?
Right.
Really?
Yeah, it's a challenge of your life.
No kidding.
Well, we've got David Flynn showing some love. Thank you, Miss Axford. Sounds like you have the best interest of the students and staff at heart.
Okay, I see James on here. You see James?
James, I think we answered that one. If beaches are safer than schools.
Isabel checking in. Thank you again. She says, thank you, Miss Axford. Kamey, thank you for tuning in. Kristen, you see Kristen
Kristen Living Good asking, will there even be any sports in the fall?
So that is a really good question, Kristen. And our athletic directors met this morning with the superintendent and Mr. Russell, who's here in the studio with me.
Woo woo.
And they are they're looking at the safest ways to bring kids back to play. And so we are a member of the Florida High School Activities Association or Athletic Association.
Yes.
And so we're waiting to see, what they're saying about return to play. But we can address that with you because it's under discussion. And once again, we want to get the kids back involved in athletics because we know how important it is.
It's all positive.
And so we're working on it.
Yes. And like I said, we're in a tough spot here, but I definitely like where we're going with the school board, and I think we're headed in the right direction. All love right now. We're going to keep it all positive because this is what we need. So I'm going to go ahead and go. You see AJ there? Love the outside.
RJ, yes, we're getting a lot of good feedback from the outdoor. Love the outside and reducing class sizes. We've got Christy Caraway commenting outdoor classes. Wonderful solution. Kimberly Lamont checking in. Pamela Hershey, thanks for checking back in. Pamela, mask up.
Yep.
We've got Shauna Colson, August 13th, question mark.
And I see I got Osum Bento checking in. This is a perfect example.
Yep.
I grew up in Key West, and now his son is at Gulliver Prep. And we're going to try to crush y'all. We play y'all again. We'll be friends afterwards or whatever. So what Jose Osum Bento got to say?
His comment, as long as phase 1 is in order, they don't open. And if they do, it would be irresponsible. Thanks for checking in, Jose.
MIA 305 Dade County.
Nicole Saunders checking in. Airplane arms, so cute.
Yeah,
thanks,
like
Christy. Love it. Nita Jackson checking in.
I got Osum Bento here. What did he say here?
He said, no matter the density and population or where you live, I know it's hard on the working parents, but can't open while in phase 1.
Point blank. Okay, let's keep it going there. So I want to make sure we get everybody in there.
RJ commenting, great answer. That makes sense. Thank you, RJ. Sean McDonald checking in. Dr. Burrows back. Having the city commissioners day discussed mass computer purchasing for parents who can't afford to buy one themselves for virtual learning. Being proactive. Thank you, Dr. Burrows. Can't wait to see you Friday. RJ Hasty, Superintendent Theresa Axford, you give me a great bit of confidence. Thank you,
let me
RJ.
ask this, Pamela, my second grandmother. I'm going to explain this to you one more time. I know in school time, you got to be on time, 6:45, the bell ring. I got two masks out here. We got spray over here. We got strict protocol. If I put these masks on doing a podcast, when I was a child, I had asthma. I liable to pass out and be done, and then the podcast won't finish. So I don't know what else I can do, but I love you. Keep tuning in. Every time you ask me the question, I'm going to give you the same answer. Lisa checking in. Guzman, my man Guzman, Richard Guzman.
Lou, good point about sports. Coaches, they are teaching life lessons as well.
Absolutely.
And I want to thank you for all the man hours, the millions of man hours you put in them fields, because this ain't for the love of money. This is for the love of children. This is a blessing to have you. Look, Ruben Martinez checking in all the way from Point St. Lucie, one of our people in the entertainment business. And entertainment, we've been shut down since March 17th.
Right.
So it's tough out there for people. So Ruben, I love you. I got
Kristen Living Good. Thank you for addressing that 100%. Dr. Burrows, Dr. Poochies and Tricks think Louie C is a bow wow for not wearing a mask.
and I wear it and I fight through the program on Friday because of respect to you. So baby checking in. I got Anita Ramy checking in. Who else you got there?
All right. I got Jose commenting, keep on dreaming, Kezzy. What about my question, Louie?
Let's make it happen.
All right. How will you ensure the stress and anxiety on the teachers will not affect the quality of the education they are able to provide?
That is a really good question. So, during the spring semester, we knew that teachers were under a great deal of stress, so we started teacher support groups. And those support groups were just an opportunity to talk to one another and hear that somebody else was going through the same thing. And a lot of teachers, were working all day long and taking care of their kids and teaching their classes, and their husbands were out of work because they were in a profession that was cut because of the COVID-19 and the closing down of everything. And so they were under a great deal of stress. So we found out that is an excellent way to support them, and we're going to continue to support them And we partnered with the Guidance Care Center, and they're going to continue to support our teachers as well.
Yay! Let's get some more money in that budget, shall we?
I got Osumbeto. He won't give up on
He's
the prep. We still
life.
gonna try to. He's got a comment there. What he saying?
He's a conk for life, but my baby comes first. 10-0 last year. This year they got more talent coming in than last year. I wish we could play again.
And I'm gonna say whether y'all went 30.
We could too.
Yep. And one day we will play. If you're 30-0, we still gonna try to crush you next time we see you. I don't know when it'll be, but we'll see each other. This is what it's all about. And I got Jill. Next one.
Jill, we got a good one. If school does not reopen, will the classroom teachers continue virtual instruction with their new students, or will they, Louie, can you pick that up? Or will they loop with the students from last year? Ooh. Good question.
Yes, that's a great question. So we did promote the children to the next grade level. So they will have a new teacher. Although some teachers did opt to loop with their students. Aww. So that's kind of a mixed bag throughout the district.
Okay. I see James. You see James?
I see James checking in. Thanks so much. I'm a tennis coach for little ones and adults. Playing tennis with a mask outside or any sport, it's possible.
Okay. And keep it going, Denise.
We got Carnetra, Pete, Carey. Thank you, Superintendent and Louie C. Rock. Our 10-year-old is terrified to return. I like the decisions that are being put into place. Things need to return to normal, but not if it endangers our children's lives. Thanks so much. Lord is checking in. Hi, Louie C. Where's your mask? Jack Garcia checking in. Heather Gomez Roberts checking in. Any questions, go ahead and submit them to us right now while we have Superintendent Axford here.
So we had a big timer come in. Amber Acevedo. You see her over there?
Yeah.
Yes.
Amber, I heard you on the beach somewhere in private, undisclosed location, just relaxing. So you a smart cookie. You got out right in time, because this stuff they throwing at the superintendent out here. I mean, This is incredible. You can't pay enough money for this stuff.
Yeah, but she's on our task force.
She made it. She said, "Good job. Okay. We know everyone is doing all they can for our kids and teachers."
I got Kim Snow. You see Kim there?
Kim Show checking in. How are the teachers being trained to teach virtually? After spring break, it was a nightmare.
Yes, I know. So, our teachers did a great job of stepping up in those virtual classrooms. Sure. But, if school doesn't start, as planned on August 13th, we still have a couple weeks with teachers where we're going to really work with them on enhancing virtual learning, so that the kids are more engaged and so that the activities are more engaging for students. So we are going to do a lot of training with our teachers on virtual instruction. And, everybody wants to learn more. Everybody wants to do the best job that they can do. So I applaud the teachers for getting into it and delivering instruction virtually, but we know, and they know, that there's more to learn, and so we're working on that. And thanks for that good question.
All love. Tony Estenos, class of 86, very strong on that conch football field, checking in. Shout out to Tony's Cuban Cafe at the Southernmost Shell, #1 Cuban mix in the world. Also, I got a question here. Did any teachers lose their jobs due to COVID-19?
No, we kept our staff in place. Some teachers, left the area, and we have that every year. We've hired 55 teachers for this upcoming school year, and so we're in good shape in terms of our professional staff, and we did not lose teachers due to COVID.
Outstanding. Jess checking in. All love. Please hit the notifications button right here. Those of y'all watching worldwide on YouTube, please hit the subscribe button. It's all love today on the podcast. Also on Where's the Party Key West on Facebook, we have lifted again those restrictions because ain't no parties going on, so you guys can post whatever you want to get information out there, and make sure that we're getting everybody taken care of. That's why we do this podcast, and I see some more people coming in here. Denise, I see Nicole. You see Nicole?
We got Nicole Myers commenting, will there be an in-school decision for parents that want to send their children back?
So, if the health department tells us that we cannot open schools, that is going to be the governing response to that.
Gotcha.
And just know that, we want to bring the kids back. We want the teachers back. We want everything working in a positive way. So we've really worked on safety in our buildings so that if we can bring kids back, it's going to be as safe as can be. And so you can be assured of that. But if we don't open the schools, then we will have to go on virtual for all students.
Gotcha. Michelle Marie, all love. I love you. 87 in the building. Lourdes checking in. And a quick question, has our enrollment dropped due to people leaving town?
So we don't know that. So, our funding comes from the number of students that we have. So we're definitely concerned that some people may have had to leave. We know that there were food lines with people waiting for 2 hours to get food throughout the spring, and things have not improved in that area. So we just don't know if some of our families have had to leave Monroe County because of the situation. Some people leave and go back closer to home where they have family that can support them. So we're just not sure. But, obviously, as soon as we start either virtually or in person, we're going to do an enrollment count.
Okay. Lourdes wants to ask me why I have a mask on. Thank you for the question.
We got Jason Garcia. Thank you. Let's keep the children safe.
Let me ask Lourdes, because what happens is people come in, and I want to be clear, transparent. So I can't put a mask on doing the transmission, because when I'm doing the transmission, sometimes we go an hour and 10 minutes, 50 minutes, and basically it's hard for me to get through the transmission. Unfortunately, we're not NBC, CNN, MTV, we're none of that. So when we get to that level of doing that, then we'll have the best we can separation. Unfortunately, we're doing the best I can, but I respect the question. And every question that you ask me, anybody, this is what I'm going to say. On Friday, I almost pass out with Burroughs, but out of respect to that man, I do it. I cannot do it for the week. Jason Garcia, #1 softball coach in the world. Can I tell you what Jason said on the program?
What?
If you allow. Mm-hmm. So Jason said that if they get to play, right, and they don't win the state championship, it's a complete disappointment to him. And he says the kids are not to blame. He's to blame as the head coach. That's how confident he feels. So Gulliver Prep, Bento, you want to talk smack? We gonna crush your girls softball. We're ready for you. What you got, Miss Lourdes?
I have Miss Jill Palladino. This podcast is wonderful. It is so reassuring to hear live from Miss Axford. We are so blessed to have her as our leader. Michelle Marie saying thank you. We've got Donald Trujillo checking in. Lourdes checking in. She said, I'm watching and I want to know why you don't have a mask on, Louie. That was earlier. Okay. Ashley Joe, I am praying for you while you make these decisions. I can't imagine, but we are grateful to be. You see that, Louie? I lost it. We are grateful to be in your capable hands.
Oh, thank you.
And let me ask this: are we going to do anything as far as if the kids are not going to school about lunch programs at all, like we did in the?
Yes, we will.
Okay, so
we'll continue. We'll continue with our food programs. Yes.
Okay, that's awesome.
And then real quick, what about that? We are fortunate enough where we have that AHEC, that primary health medical clinic.
Yes.
What accommodations?
They'll remain open.
Perfect.
You see, Bruce Burroughs, that's a funny dude. See, but when it happened all the way live, I'm gonna see if we gonna be prepared over there. They think I'm playing around, but when I was a kid, I had asthma. This is the first time I say this on the program, and when it happened, I'm gonna see you ain't gonna joke around no more.
We got John Giuliano checking in. Thanks for having the intelligent, caring superintendent on. Says Louie C. Rock, Friday I'll bring my defibrillator.
Yeah,
he said, Dr.
He want to play. He want to play.
It's going to help you out.
Trina Lynn Estevez checking in. It is refreshing to hear and be able to ask questions live with the new superintendent. This is giving me hope for the future of our children. I have to agree as a parent. If you've got any questions, come on, bring them in while we have her. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, notification button. We've got Jen Russo commenting, thank you, Dr. Axford, for your dedication and guidance during this difficult time. I thank you as both an employee and a parent. Jenny Lynn Roberts checking in. Michelle Bergoni checking in. Nicole Bennett, Nicole Myers. What about children that have special needs and get extra help through the school with speech and occupational therapy?
So we did a wonderful job of working with them in the spring with OTs, contacting them and FaceTiming with them and having, conversations with them live, synchronous learning. So we will just continue to do that if we have to be in a virtual environment. And then, we're going to look at talking with Dr. Thompson about possibly some home visits and things like that. So, we are definitely thinking about our most needy kids and how to support them. So thank you for that question. And just know that we're putting all our good heads together about how to provide for all of our kids.
And I see you had a couple hires during the summertime. Good old boy Harry Russell and Christina McPherson. So how about them two characters?
How about them? So Mr. Harry Russell is now the Executive Director of Personnel Support and Instructional Leadership. I'm telling you, he came in boots on the ground. He is absolutely amazing. I couldn't be happier. And then Christina, wow, I mean, she is Miss Key West High. She's so into Key West High School. I worked there with her as principal. She was 17 years there as an AP. It couldn't be in better hands. So she actually bleeds red and gray.
Red and gray. You know how you win state championships?
Yeah.
How do we win state championships?
I don't know, tell me.
We got to assemble a team. If the first baseman is off over there playing second base with Harry Russell, not his position, the ball gets through or whatever. So this is this is for real. This is worldwide. And to y'all here, for youth listening to the program, you have to listen. Do more listening than talking, and you have to work together. And the more that you get around positive people, the better you're going to be. And we just got to basically stick together. And this thing with the COVID is no joke. We don't take this as a joke. This is serious business. So I'm gonna tell you be the first one to tell you when it's time to turn up and have parties. This is not the time. This is not the time. Unfortunately, there'll be a time for that, because what happens is you might be all good, but your grandmother might not be all good or whatever. So this is serious business. Take it very serious. I'm not trying to preach. I'm just trying to keep it 100 with y'all. But listen to people. I got Jill says congratulations, Harry Russell. And you read the one from John there, from Ms. Axford?
I don't see John's. Okay, I got Dr. Burrows up. He says, Mrs. Axford, Jeremy is 30, and now I know why he loves you. Great show.
Nice. How about, I got Carlos.
I adore him, Jeremy Burrows. I want to know, NYU, and what a guy. What a kid.
Awesome. Carlos is checking in. I got Jane Russo. You see that?
I got Jen Russo. Do we know if Comcast will continue to help families in need of internet if we are forced to do virtual again?
Yes. Yes, they are partners, and they're going to continue to work with us.
Next one.
We got John checking in. This woman is extremely impressive. Thank you for your service, Madam Superintendent.
Yay.
I gotta say.
So listen, all love, Louie C. the Mayor in the podcast. Thank you, FloridaKeysInjury.com. If you have an accident, a moped, car, bicycle, make sure you call those local boys at FloridaKeysInjury.com. Locals taking care of locals. And the #1 doctor in the world, above and beyond, planets all the way to the ceiling, Dr. Burrows, Advanced Urgent Care, Key West Marathon in Key Largo. Denise Lane in the building doing great job production. Harry Russell, my second baseman, making things happen out here, man. It's a team. We're going to get that 12 state championship. I don't know if it'll be this year, but we was destined, and it's all love right now. And I want to make sure we didn't miss anybody.
We got one more question that came in. It's a great question from A.H. Mason. If we move to virtual learning, will state testing still be required?
We don't know that. I can't answer that for you right now. So that's kind of in flux. We're working with the state, and of course we're on conference calls with them all the time. So, I could probably answer that at a later date.
Okay.
Perfect.
Well, thank you all. This is All Love on the podcast. We're here Monday to Friday, 6:45. This is a pleasure every time.
Absolutely.
Person comes out here. I learn so much, and thank you so much for coming in. I know you were in high stress situation times a million, but you're a leader, you're a general, you're a captain of the boat. You're gonna make things happen, and at the end of the day, it's hard to please everybody, but all we can do is try. But I'm gonna stress this again: be nice and kind to people more than you ever been, and check up on people, because like here in the Keys, we still doing okay. In Miami, I know people in Miami that's really bad news across the board. So let's be part of the solution and not the problem. Anybody else?
I don't see any additional comments, but I know as a parent, thank you so much for the reassurance. I love this plan. I love all the facts, everyone on board with this, everyone checking in. We got Ms. Lopez here. Don't forget Dr. Norris.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we love Norris.
us some Jack Norris.
We love him.
And I'm going to say here, KW 11 state championships all day. Represent, bleed. She bleed red and gray. I bleed it. Harry Russell bleed it. Denise bleed it. Holla!